Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha Sri Nandanandanam Bande Radhika Charanadvayam Gopijana Samayuktam Vrindavana Manoharam. You can take off the apron. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ramo Hare Hare. So first of all, I offer pranams to our Gurudev, Vishnu Padre Dandi Swami Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj, our Shiksha Guru Sri Govardhana Maharaj, Sri Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan Gosai Maharaj, all Vaishnavis, thank you for coming. Okay, so last night we were discussing Beda, Achintya, Beda, Abed. What's the relationship between Bhagavan and his potencies, especially his Sarup Shakti, his Ladini Shakti, his Pada Shakti, that is Vrishabhanu Nandini. They are one soul. In simple language, the Guru would say, Krishna is Radha, Radha is Krishna. Ekatmana, they are one soul. But for lila, for aswadan, for taste, that one soul takes two forms. One is Brajananandan Sham Sundar, one is Vrishabhanu Nandini Srimati Radhika. So, when Shakti and Shakti Mam are abed, that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Shakti and Shakti Mam have bed, that is Radha Krishna. Therefore in Gaudiya Sampradaya, we mostly always worship Gauranga with Radha Krishna. Gaugamaj would say, Radha Krishna without Mahaprabhu, that is not complete tattva. He would say like that. Because the spiritual world also divided to two prakosh, two sections. Where's your husband?
Maybe the son got bored, that's why.
Take it. So, the spiritual world have two prakosh, two divisions. And both are simultaneous. If you see Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, when he went to the West, his first canto Bhagavatam, if you look in Golok Vrindavan, surrounded by Dwarka, Mathura, then Dwarka, then the unlimited Vaikunthas. If you look in the section, middle section, there's pastimes of Navadvip, and one side pastimes of Vrindavan. So Gauranga Mahaprabhu, even though Radha Krishna are meeting, they're always in the feeling of separation. And Braj Lila, even though there is separation, Radha Krishna, there is always mostly meeting, feelings of Milan, feelings of meeting. So Gogamaj would say, nectar and poison in one pot. In Gaurahari, there is the nectar of meeting of Radha Krishna, but there is the poison of separation. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj said, in mathematics, when you add positive to negative, you get a 0. But in spiritual mathematics, when you add the Shaktimam, Sri Krishna, to the Shakti Radhika, what do you get? Krishna in the mood of crying for himself. This is inconceivable, no? So, therefore we always like both. No? Therefore we always worship together. So some souls have preference for Gauranga Lila. At the time of perfection they go to Mahaprabhu's Lila. Some Vaishnavas have preference for Braj Lila. They go there, but we like both. Therefore we see mostly Gaudiyas, at the time of perfection their soul take two forms. Same ras, same stai bhav, everything. But one goes to serve in Golila, one goes to serve in Vrindavan Lila. Therefore we see in books Rupa Goswami and Kavi Kanapur, Rupa Goswami wrote Radha Krishna Ganudesh Dipikat, all descriptions of the associates of Braj, and Kavi Kanapur has written Gaur Ganudesh Dipikat, descriptions of all the devotees of Gaura Hari. So how we can worship both together, that is achintya. And by Mahaprabhu's mercy, that will be possible. So, even though there is no difference between Radha and Krishna and Gaura Hari, Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya, Radha Krishna, Nahianya, Saveshri, sit. Yeah. Even though Mahaprabhu is Radha Krishna, no, still there is some uniqueness, some Vaishishta we say, not difference, Vaishishta, speciality. In Braj Lila there is unlimited Madhurya, so much sweetness. In Braj, Krishna have unlimited Aishwarya also. Don't think in Braj there's no Aishwarya. No. When the pastime happened of this Hera Panchami, actually Jagannath is there. Jagannath said, I'm going for a walk. He said to Lakshmi, but 6 days after, Haribol, but 6 days he still not returned. So Lakshmi became in man. Lakshmi became angry. So she not goes by the main road because Jagannath keeping one eye. So Lakshmi goes the back way. And when she comes, then the servants of Lakshmi also very indignant. They break pieces of the chariot of Jagannath. I have not seen, but I heard they use terrible language, like sailors and Aussies. Terrible language. They abuse the servants of Jagannath with terrible language. So, that time Mahaprabhu was watching this Leela with the associates, that time. Then Srivas Thakur became in ecstasy because Srivas Thakur is Narad. And even though generally it's hard to understand who is Narad Ishtadev, Guru Maharaj said, because everywhere he goes, if he goes to Vaikuntha, Lakshmi Narayan, Lakshmi Narayan. If he goes to Ayodhya, Sitaram. If he goes to Braj, Radhesham. So Guru Maharaj said, generally, very hard to understand actually who is Narad Ishtadev. But generally we find he has too much attraction to Lakshmi Narayan. So he goes to Braj but cannot stay, but he knows all that Leela also. So Srivas is the incarnation of Narad Rishi. So when he saw that, he began laughing and dancing. And he began to chastise Sarup Damodar with so much affection. Sarup, what are your gopis? Look, nothing. Yeah. Look at my Lakshmi. Amar Thakurani Boishetche Ratna Singhasan. My Thakurani, Lakshmi, rides on a golden Singhasan, a golden throne. And what your gopis do? Nothing. Milk cows, collect cow dung. But just see the glories, the Aishwarya of my Braj, Aishwarya of my Lakshmi. Then everyone hear this, everyone began laughing, everyone began smiling. And Mahaprabhu said, oh Srivas, it seems as if the opulence of Bhagavan is affecting your mind. But you don't know the glories of my Braj. Then Sarup Damodar, he is Lalita Saki. So much he began glorifying the Madhurya of Braj, the sweetness. So first he said, Vaikuntha Sahajika Aishwarya Sindhu Tarage Tumar Vaikunta Nahiya Kabindu. The opulence, the Aishwarya of my Braj is like an ocean. And the opulence of Dwarka and Vaikunta not even equal to one opulence, one drop of that ocean. So Braj have unlimited Aishwarya, unlimited. The dust is Chintamani. The cows are Okamadhenos. Chintamani Prakara, what is it? Chintamani Prakara Sadma Sakal Prabrikshu Lakshavitasu Surabi Abhipalayantim Lakshmi Sahasra Satasam Brahma Sevyamanam Govindamari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. All the cows are Kamadhenus. But Brijbasis have no desire, so what they do? Milk. The trees are Kalpabriksha, full of diamonds, jewels, but the Brijbasis, no need, no interest. What they take? Some fruit. Govinda and eat. So Braj has unlimited opulence because inside Krishna all avatar is there. So whatever you find in any other incarnation you will find in Krishna. But Krishna has something which no other avatar has. 4 special things. In the same way, because Vrindavan is the original Dham, whatever you find in any other Dham, that is in Braj. But Braj will have some special thing you cannot find anywhere. So in this way, so much Srup Damodar glorified the Braja Gopis in Vrindavan. So Braj have Aishwarya, but covered by Madhurya. So Madhurya is predominating. And Navadvip, don't think Navadvip has no Madhurya. So much. Because it's Braj, it's Vrindavan. Navadvip and Vrindavan is not 2 things. This is one. Abhinya Vrindavan, some say Gupta Vrindavan, but it's Braj. To think Navadvip and Vrindavan is separate, that is aparad, big aparad. But that Madhurya covered by mercy. In Braj there is Madhurya, but unless you're qualified, you cannot taste. If you look at Braj lila, everyone came. Who not came to Braj? Shiv came, but no adhikar. Even Vaishnavanim Yatha Shambhu. The greatest of Vaishnavas, Shambhu, no place in Ras Lila. Then Krishna gave, do you know the story? Yogamaya gave him some place outside. He can be a Shakshi, like a witness, but no more. Brahmaji came, Adi Guru. And what did he do? Some disturbance he made in Brajalila. He tried anyway. But Krishna used this all in a favorable way. Brahmaji said, when he saw the soul of Agasur merge into the feet of Krishna, and some say he wanted to see more lila. Guru Maharaj speaks like that, because so much respect for Lord Brahma. But some say he wanted to test, or some bewil, who is Krishna. Why? Because Krishna not speaking Sanskrit, he's speaking Brijbhas, this very low class language. So he's speaking that. And winter time, Brijbhasi taking bath every day, no guarantee. And coward boys, so some pick a nose, and Brahmaji watching. In his planet on Brahmaloka, how they do seva to Narayana, to Vishnu. You could imagine the Brahmanas in Brahma's planet, perfect pronunciation of mantras, and so clean and everything. And Yagya Purush with 1,000 hands takes those offerings. That is his seva. But in Brijbhasi is what mantra? No mantra. Sala. Krishna, eat this. They throw the pakora at Krishna. No mantra and no nothing. And Krishna eating their remnants. Then Brahma, some say, became bewildered. He wanted to see him. Anyhow, whatever you may take, he stole the coward boys of Krishna and the calves. He thought, I make some disturbance in Krishna Lila. But Krishna laughed. Oh, you are testing my Maya? I show you my Maya. And from his body, Krishna made an entire new set of boys, calves, everything. So the point is, even Brahma came, but could not serve in an anukul, a favorable way. Shiva also came. Indra, Devaraj, the king of the Devas, what did he do? Also some disturbance. Then to protect the Brijbasis, Krishna lifted Giriraj. So many came. Narad, how long he stayed for? He took the form of Narad Gopi, but Narad is not a Gopi. He took form of Narad Gopi for some sadhan, to get some place. But Narad is no Gopi. Narad in Dasiras. So many people want to say, no, but anyway, Staibhav never changed. So Narad became a Gopi form, but his mood not changed. Like Shiva became a Gopi, but Shiva's mood not changed. Same mood. So anyway, so we want to enter Braj. It's not some easy thing. No? Especially in Kali Yuga. Everyone is so much disqualified. Short lifespan. Most of the time half crazy. And when we're not crazy, we're sleeping. So many desires. So many misconception. So even Brahma, Shiva, nodded, other Mahajan cannot enter Braj, then how Yadubha Das from Melbourne or no. So Radha Krishna know this secret. Therefore they came in the very merciful form of Lord Chaitanya. No? And all the associates of Braj came in very merciful forms as the associates of Gaura Hari. That sweetness is in them, same Madhurya, but covered by mercy. And by mercy you can taste that Madhurya. No? That is the super excellence of Gaura Hari's lila. Same lila, same ras, everything same. But so much mercy. Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes, no? Everyone searching, where is Krishna Prem? Where is Krishna Prem? But Chaitanya Nityananda Jadi Daki Eba Sunirmal Krishna Prem Anveshanaja. Everyone is searching for Krishna Prem. But someone chants, Nitai Gauranga, Jai Gaura Hari. Then that Prema searches, who is chanting the name of my master? That Prem searches for that person who chants the names of Nitai Gauranga, who takes shelter of Gaura Hari. So these all Braj Madhurya come in a very accessible form, in the form of Gaura Hari and his associates. Srila Gaugamaj said, you may worship Radha Krishna, but who will give prema? No. Only Gauranga Mahaprabhu gives Praja Prem, because he is Radha Krishna. Even Advaitacharya could not give independently. No. When Advaitacharya saw the situation in the world, he realized this Braja Prem I cannot give. No. Because Lord Chaitanya said, Ami bina Braja Prem diti nahi shakti. Gauranga said, only I can give this, because this is my property. Because he is Radha and Krishna. No? So, even Advaitacharya, without connection with the Lord Chaitanya, he also cannot give this Braja Prem. No. Okay, by connection to Gaura Hari he can give. But without Gaura Hari, just in the form of Mahavishnu or something, that thing he cannot give. No? So, Gauranga Madhur Lila Jharkhand Praveshila Hridaya Nirmala Belata. Hemangi, just try and listen. She only gets 1 hour a year to hear Kirtana. So, if one hears this very sweet lila of Gaura Hari, definitely his heart will be purified, and Guru Maharaj gives it. If one becomes attached to Gaura Hari and his lila, then he will definitely become an associate of Radha Krishna. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur very nicely describes in Navadvip Mahatmya, the conditioned soul full of anarthas should worship Radha Krishna in the form of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And when our hearts are purified, we will worship Gauranga Mahaprabhu in the form of Radha Krishna. So no difference between them. No? So, we want to hear a little bit, because soon is Rath Yatra. When does Rath Yatra begin? 1st of July. So if I'm not mistaken, on Saturday is Snan Yatra. Right. So Jagannath worship, very strange and wonderful. Jagannath has no Mangalati. A great Ishtadev. Jagannath Dev, no Mangalati. Of course we cannot go inside, but my friend went when Gurudev was sick. We stayed in Puri like 6 weeks. Then one devotee would go sometimes to the Jagannath temple. Then he came back very late, and I said, what happened? What time was the opening ceremony? And he said, well, normally it's like 8:30, 9:30, it's not fixed. 8, 9, like that. But today, 11:30, still they weren't opening. So he asked the Pujari, it's 11:30, what's going on? Pujari said, Jagannath hasn't come back yet. He's doing his lila somewhere, and still hasn't come back. So what's the use in doing Mangalati if Jagannath's not there? No? So all other temples, the Pancharatrik Vidhi is very strict, but Jagannath, no, he have his own rules, own regulations. How many times Jagannathi today? Is it 56 times? Something astronomical. So not too many rules and regulations in Jagannath Seva. I mean, rules and regulations, but own rules and regulations. So even when Ramanujacharya came, he goes, what's going on? This is not proper, according to Pancharatrik Vidhi. And it said, Sruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatik Vidavina Ekantik Hari Bhakti Utpadeva Kevalam. Without following the Pancharatric Vidi, the Shruti and the Smriti, which are like two eyes, you cannot get Hari Bhakti, you just cause disturbance. So Ramanuja, an old panda's chewing pan and God knows what. So he challenged them. Come for debate, your standard is not proper. I will debate with you. And all became fearful. Because Ramanujacharya is incarnation of Lakshman, the original spiritual master. No? Who can possibly defeat him in debate? No. Lakshman's part is Anantashesh, has thousands of mouths, and each mouth speaking Katha. And Shiva, hearing all that Katha, he became Mahavaishnav. So all Pandas became afraid. Baba, we cannot debate with Ramanuja. Impossible. So they prayed to Jagannath. Hey Jagannath Dev, good or bad, we don't know. All we know is you. Our defeat is your defeat. So please save us. So in the middle of the night, Jagannath picked up Ramanujacharya's bed and threw him 300 miles in the south. Bed, under, blanket, japa bead, everything. So when he woke up, you could imagine. I'm not in Jagannath Puri. Where the hell am I? 300 miles in the south. Just to protect the integrity of his sevaks. So what we find in Jagannath Puri, that seva, we never find anywhere else. This Jagannath's own rules. And he is independent. So they have Snan Yatra. If I'm not mistaken, I think it is this Saturday, I'm quite sure. No, don't worry. It's pretty soon anyway. But in Sydney they'll celebrate on Saturday, they were saying. So there, Jagannath takes bath. No, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. And after, Jagannath becomes sick because too much bath. So he goes into the hospital for 21 days quarantine. No more rice and dal for Jagannath because 11 and a half months he's eating so much. So 3 weeks of quarantine, no dal, no rice, no sweets, nothing. I think they give him just some drink, some type of medicinal herb, maybe some khichdi if he's lucky. Huh? What?
Medicine. It's called lila.
Medicine. Any khichdi, anything? No samosa, no nothing.
Definitely no khichdi might be.
Maybe some watery khichdi.
I know sannyasis who do that.
I don't.
Every year they go and have doopy and get Ayurvedic treatment, stop eating for a month and think, oh, look at me, 100 pounds lighter. But then they go back a year later, 200 pounds heavier than before.
Like that. So Jagannath has to go in quarantine. This we never find anywhere, any other deity anywhere in the world. He takes some medicinal herbs, some lassis, things like that. So for those 21 days, no darshan at all. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would feel so much separation because of the mood of Radhika. Even one moment she cannot live without the darshan of Krishna. And how she'll survive for 21 days? So in great separation, Mahaprabhu would go to the deity of Alanath. You know? Alanath means Alwanath. 12 main saints in the Sri Sampradaya. The Alwas. Who is their Nath? Lord Narayan. So Alanath means Alwanath. Little compressed name. Saraswati Thakur built one Gaudiya Math there. He showed the extreme example of Yukta Vairagya, Prabhupada, Saraswati Thakur. That time the workers, they would take time off to roll cigarettes. So I heard Prabhupada himself would roll the cigarettes for them. Just keep working, I'll make your cigarettes for you. That example of seva. Who can understand the mind of such great souls? So that deity is from Satyuga, very ancient deity. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would do dandavats there, and his body would melt into the stone. Srila Govinda, just before he left this world, he also went and they made one proper, what do you call, some platform he established over that form. Mahaprabhu so much viraha, he melted into the stone. His body would melt in, and the imprints of his body is still there. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go to the deity of Alanath, But he would not see the form of Lord Narayan because he has the vision of Radhika. What would he see? Only his Ishtadev Sham Sundar, Radha Kant. So, very prominent place in Gaudiya Vaishnava history there, Alana. The deity is also very famous because this was served by one pujari who was quite materialistic. So one day he had to go and he said to his son, whatever your mother cooks, just offer the deity. Father, I don't know any mantras. Yeah, don't worry about it. Just offer it like that. Because he thinks this is just stone. No, he cannot take anything. So as the son would offer, then it's a bit like the story of Mukunda and Raghunandan Thakur. Oh Prabhu, please take this. I'm sorry, I don't know mantras, but Thakurji would not take. Then the boy began weeping. Then to please the boy, the deity would eat, and he ate everything 3 days in a row. When the pujari came back, what's for lunch? Bad news or good news, I don't know. Chirikar Maharaj would say that if you cooked for Krishna and he ate everything, would you be happy or sad? Would be sad, why there's nothing left for me? Or would you be happy, he's eaten to his full satisfaction? So he would say, this is proof you really cooked for Krishna. You cook and offer everything, but there's nothing left and you cannot eat, but you still feel fully satisfied. That means you really cooked for Krishna. So the mother explained, no, the deity is eating every 3 days. How that's possible? So he went and he saw the deity drinking a cup of sweet rice. Then man became angry, that's mine. So he tried to grab the kheer off the hand of the deity. Some kheer went on the chest of Alanath and burned him. So apparently you can still see the burn mark from that kheer on the chest of the deity. Then deity was angry and cursed him, you and all your dynasty will die, but this boy will survive. Okay. We wouldn't tell that in a public program, but so that deity very ancient, and Mahaprabhu would go for darshan every year. Many days he would stay there. So the devotees would try to bring him back. So he would come back for the Ratha Yatra festival. And the mood of Radharani at Kurukshetra, again seeing Jagannath after 21 days, then Mahaprabhu would be most ecstatic. And he performed his pastimes of Beda Kirtan. So the person who is in charge of the seva, this is called the king of Puri. His name is Gajapati. He's also a great devotee. He's too much favorable to ISKCON and all Gaudiya Mats also. So, that time Gajapati Prataparudra was his name. So, he wanted to have darshan of Lord Chaitanya, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu refused. No, he said. King means 2 things, money and dinero, money and women. I will not see the face of such a materialist, because scripture says, Niskinchanasya Bhagavad Bhajanmukasya Param Param Jigamiso Bhavasagarasya Sandashanama Visayamati Yosanata Tahanta Hanta Visapi Asadvi. Bhagavad has better to drink poison and enter fire than see the face of a materialistic person. So I will not meet the Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and who is the man who used to own the Gambhira? He donated it to the Lord Chaitanya. He was also the king of Puri. What was his name? I cannot remember his good name. But anyway, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was the spiritual master of the king. So when Sarvabhauma tried to intervene on behalf of the king, oh, the king wants your darshan, Mahaprabhu said no. He is a king, a materialist. Then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, no, he's great devotee also. Doesn't matter, Mahaprabhu said. Like a pot of milk may be very nice, but you put a drop of donkey urine in there, a drop of poison, everything is spoiled. So he is spoiled by the name king. Again and again, Sarvabhauma, please Lord, be merciful to him. Then Mahaprabhu said, if you put pressure on me, I will go to Alanath or I will go to South India, you will not see me again. Don't say his name. Then everyone became afraid. So the king was feeling very bad, very depressed, because if Australia rejects you, you can go to New Zealand. If New Zealand rejects you, where can you go? You can go somewhere. Like, what's that poor guy that American who revealed all the things on Wikipedia?
Assange.
Huh?
Assange.
And the American guy, what was his name?
That was the American, he went to live in Russia.
Yep,
Snowden.
Snowden. So America rejects you, you can go to Russia. If Russia rejects you, you can probably go somewhere, Cambodia or something.
North Korea.
But Bhagavan rejects you, where are you going to go? No place. So he became very sad. Bhagavan rejected me. Bhagavan refused to see me. So if this position of being king is an impediment, I give it up. I'll become a yogi with some earrings, Kapilika yogi. Kapilika yogi means very renounced and ferocious yogis, Kapilika. They live in the Samasan, what do you call it, the graveyard, the burning yard. They're ferocious fellows. So if this being king is an impediment, I will give up everything and become like that. Then everyone was shocked. The king will renounce, and he was serious. The king really will renounce everything, the kingdom, just for darshan of Lord Chaitanya. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, his heart melted. You can see the Lord, but on one condition. What I instruct you, you must follow. Don't change anything. Gogamaj would say, no? Who gets the mercy of Guru, who follows his instructions completely and perfectly as it is. What are we doing? Little dodging, little changing. We don't follow their instructions as it is. No. So Sarvabhauma said, you can meet, but you have to follow my instructions perfectly. What is that? After dancing in front of the Rath Yatra, no, Mahaprabhu would take 7 forms. And I think, there were 7 kirtan parties. One was led by Advaita, one was led by Sarupa Damodar, like this, some was by Jagadananda. So there were 7, the Ghosh brothers, 7 kirtan groups were there. And Mahaprabhu would dance with each group. And everyone thought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was only in my group. They thought, but he was with all 7. But everyone could not see all 7, but Prataparudra could see. And when the Lord would dance, sometimes he would fall unconscious. So Nityananda would catch him. Because inside Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna is everything. When Mother Yasoda looked in the mouth of Krishna, what did she see? Everything. She saw Tota Gopinath there in Melbourne. Everything she saw, past, present, future, in the mouth of Krishna. So who can hold Mahaprabhu when he falls? So Nityananda would catch. Because he is Anantashesh, unlimited strength. Then the Parikas would make another circle around that to keep away the crowds. Then the king and his soldiers would make a third circle. So the king had one general, I forget his good name, and the king wanted to see Lord Chaitanya, but in front of the king was Srivas Thakur, who was dancing. Again and again he was like this. The king could not properly have darshan of Lord Chaitanya. So the king's general, again and again, he was pushing Srivas to the side. And Srivas became angry. Who's pushing me? He turned around and slapped the general in the face. Then the general became angry, of course. No one goes around slapping generals. He became angry, but the king stopped him. No, you are very fortunate to be touched by the lotus hand of Srivas Thakur. And when Mahaprabhu fell before the king went to pick him up. Mahaprabhu came to consciousness. Alas, I have been touched by a materialist. So king was feeling very bad in many ways. So finally Sarvabhauma said, there's only one way, but you must follow my instructions. No? After dancing and chanting for so many hours, because Rath Yatra takes not just 1-2 hours, sometimes it takes 2-3 days. Jagannath goes diverted. Like one time he stopped at the time of Prabhupada's birth. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's birth. No, the chariot stopped there for 3 days outside his house. No, because Jagannath, he goes where he wants and when he wants. So after many hours of dancing and chanting, Lord Chaitanya will be tired. At that time you should give up your royal dress, take the dress of an ordinary Vaishnav, and go there and singing the 5 verses, the 5 chapters of this, what's it called, Ras Panchadhyay, you sing. At that time you will get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. This all was the idea of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So the king tried many ways, but his own many ways failed. So Rath Yatra came, and Mahaprabhu was chanting and dancing in ecstasy. The king sent many types of prasad, many different millions of types of fruits and prasad for Mahaprabhu and his associates. So when Chaitanya, there's one garden there, Gurudev would take us. I called the Balab, Jagannath Balab. One special garden is there, just on the left side. It's still there now, of course. Now it's full of other things, but you can imagine 500 years ago. So Mahaprabhu would take rest there, and the king, giving up his royal dress, dressed as normal person, normal Vaishnava. But before he went, he begged mercy of all the Vaishnavas, who all blessed him. And he went there and began singing these songs of Gopi Gita, especially these Ras Panchadhyay, 5 chapters dealing especially with Ras Lila. So the king would sing, and Mahaprabhu would hear in great pleasure and great ecstasy. So especially when the king sang this famous verse, what is it? Tavakatam ritam tapta jivanam kavibikalmasa. What is it again, the first line? Tavakatam ritam tapta jivanam Tavakatamritam tapta jivanam shravana mangalam srimadattatam bhuvigadantiye buddhide jana. These topics of Krishna are like nectar. The gopis are singing. Tavakatamritam. The topics of Krishna are like nectar. Whoever hears, their hearts become purified. They become free from all misery. Those persons who distribute Krishna Katha, buddhide jana, buddhide jana. They are the most munificent, most kind. Of course, these verses have so many other meanings, because not one type of gopi is singing. So, Jiva Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, for all these verses, no? Especially Yugal Gita, very sweetly they describe all these things. No? Other meaning is there. The gopis complain, topics of Krishna are worse than death. Before we heard about Krishna, we were very happy in our homes with our husbands. But since we heard about this black fellow, now look at us. We cannot live, we cannot die. Why we cannot die? Because we drank this nectar. And why we cannot live? Because without Krishna we cannot stay 1 second. So we are in a very unfortunate situation. We cannot live, we cannot die, we are just somewhere in the middle. What is the cause of all our misery? Topics of Krishna. So that person who distributes topics of Krishna, they are butchers. Very cruel-hearted. So gopis, also some gopis singing with that mood. No? So, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this, then he became full of ecstasy. He sat up because Prataparudra was massaging Lord Chaitanya's legs, because tired after so much chanting and dancing. Mahaprabhu sat up. Oh, you are giving me jewels, jewels of remembrance of Krishna. Amulya Ratna, invaluable jewels. And I am sannyasi, what can I give you? I have nothing. So all I can give you in return is an embrace. So Lord Chaitanya would embrace the king, and Kaviraj Goswami not describe what he got, but it said gave him mercy. But what type of mercy, only that Prataparudra knows. No? So these are all Mahaprabhu's pastimes. So what is Guru Seva? then this is topmost Guru Seva, giving remembrance of pastimes, name, form, qualities and pastimes. Giving remembrance, this may be the highest Guru Seva. Not like Rupa Goswami himself. We never hear Rupa Goswami cooking for Lord Chaitanya or doing the cloth on the side. Maybe he did, but it's not described anyway, that he was cooking for Lord Chaitanya or massaging. But why he is called Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam? Because he described that katha which gave so much happiness to Lord Chaitanya, which fulfilled the reason for Lord Chaitanya's descent, that was also helped by Sri Rupa Goswami. So what is seva? Not just peeling potatoes, and that is seva, no doubt. But that will always be the highest seva and the most perfect seva. There is no guarantee of that. No, like the example is given of Ishwa Puripad. No? When Madhavendra Puripad, he had so many disciples, Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri also took sannyas from Advaitavadi. But no one will say Madhavendra Puri was Mayavadi. No? But for favor for bhajan, he accepted the dress of the renounced daughter. And who to take from? Take from anyone. No. If qualified person is there to take sannyas or renounced daughter, then take from qualified person. No. But if no qualified person is there, then high class person can take from themselves. Like Ramanujacharya, many people criticize Saraswati Thakur, why he took sannyas from himself. Then go and criticize Ramanujacharya, because Sri Ramanujacharya did the same thing. No one there, no. And he took renounced daughter from himself. Saraswati Thakur also, his gurus, Gokashodas, Babaji Maharaj, Bhaktivinoda Thakur had both left. Then who to take sannyas from? So he took from himself. Rupa and Sanatan, who gave them the renounced daughter? When Sanatan Goswami escaped from jail, then he crossed the mountains, he had 9 gold coins, you know this katha. Then the man who lived just before the crossing, he had an astrologer, the astrologer, oh, this man has 9 gold coins. 9 gold coins? So with great respect, welcome Maharaj, come here, here's a free room, here's some vegetables. Then Sanatan Goswami was ready, why is this guy being so nice to me? This is not normal. So he asked his servant Ishan, did you bring something? Yes, I brought 8 gold coins. He lied. He brought 9. I brought 8. And then Sanatan Goswami said, you want to kill us both? Give. So he gave those gold coins to the innkeeper. Innkeeper was very happy. Actually, I was going to kill you. But you saved me the sinful action of killings, and I also get the money as well. And because Ishan kept a gold coin, Sanatan Goswami gave him up. You return home. You are not fit to be with me. No? So when Sanatan Goswami came, he had a big beard, and because he'd just been in jail. He'd been in, what's Pentridge it's called here, right?
Yeah, it's closed. People live there.
What a shame.
The Bluestone College.
Bluestone College. Yeah, Bluestone College.
So,
Who's in that property now? Oh, so.
Who does?
My son.
A few ghosts will be there.
I know.
Ned Kelly was killed there, right?
Melbourne, in Melbourne jail, not
Anyway,
in the city.
so he'd been a few months in jail and some time running here and there to come to Varanasi. So luckily, that time Mahaprabhu was staying in Chandrasekhar's house. Chandrasekhar Chai was the brother-in-law of Sanatana Goswami. Some relation was there. So he was there waiting outside. Then Mahaprabhu said to Chandrasekhar, there is one Vaishnav outside, bring him. Chandrasekhar went outside. No Vaishnav is there. He said, but one Muslim is there. One Darvesh. Like Muslim sadhu with long hair and beard. No Vaishnav is there, but Darvesh is there. Mahaprabhu went outside and embraced Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami was weeping, and Mahaprabhu was also weeping. So much happiness to meet his sevak. Then they were talking. Then Mahaprabhu said, you should make yourself presentable, like Vaishnava. So Chandrasekhar gave him a nice blanket. Sanatana Goswami went, shaved his head. He shaved off his beard. He came back. He looked very nice. But Mahaprabhu was not looking at this, he was looking at the nice blanket again and again. This was maybe some cashmere blanket or something. Then Sanatana Goswami could understand he is not satisfied, because a renunciant with a Gucci coat or something, this is bogus. No? So he went to the bank of the river. There was one sadhu who had an old kanta. The 3 Ks were very dear to the Goswamis: Kopin, Kanta and Kamandalu. Water pot, Kopin, and Kanta means many old dhotis you sew together, makes like a blanket. So Sanatana Goswami said to this old renunciant, "Give me your blanket in exchange for this." Then the renunciant said, "You must be joking with me." "You must be joking. Please don't joke with me. Who would exchange this old thing for that?" No. So when he exchanged and came back, Mahaprabhu was happy. That time he took an old dhoti. Chandrasekhar tried to give him many cloth. Then Sanatana Goswami took an old dhoti, ripped it in half here, and some kopins. Sanatana Goswami, in simple language, Sanatana Goswami gave the renounce order to himself. So a qualified person is there, one might take, but no qualified person. Paramhamsa needs permission of who? So he took renounced order like that. No. So what was the point of all this? Anyway, Mahaprabhu's Guru Seva. So Madhavendra Puri last night, Tota Gopinath said, no. Mahaprabhu took from a Mayavadi. That time no one else to take from. So Madhavendra Puri also took. Madhvacharya also took from Mayavadi. So Madhavendra Puri also took renounced order. He had so many disciples. And highly qualified. Raghupati. One great poet, Mahaprabhu met him after coming from Raghupati Upadhyay. Mahaprabhu met him in Prayag. He was also a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. Then Mahaprabhu asked him some questions. Which is the best form of God? Then Raghupati answered, Shamameva Paramam Rupam. Which is the best place to live? Puri, Marupuri, Varam. Marupuri, Mathura, that is the best place. Which is the best age of Krishna? Krishna has 3 ages, no? Balya, childhood, Pauganda, like babyhood, childhood, and Kishore. Kishore means maximum 16 years, 2 weeks, 8 days. So Krishna is Kishore. Ramchandra look a little bit older even than Krishna. He's a little Pratayovan, first youth. But Krishna looks a little younger than him, no? So which is the best age of Krishna? Kishore is the best. Which is the best ras, the best seva? The gopis are the best seva. Raghupati Upadhyay answered 4 questions, 4 lines. Then Mahaprabhu put these 4 lines into one verse. Shamameva paramam rupam puri madhupuri varam dhyana kishora akyam gopa eva rasa para. And Mahaprabhu in ecstasy would chant these 4 lines and dance. So all Madhavendra Puri's disciples so qualified, because Madhavendra Puri is considered the root of the tree of Krishna Chaitanya. He is the root, Mahaprabhu is the trunk, 2 branches, Advaita and Nityananda Prabhu, and there are millions and millions of branches and sub-branches, but root is Madhavendra Puri. Some say Madhavendra Puri was Kalpabriksha, means a tree. Madhavendra Puri was Kalpabriksha because whatever ras you want, he gives it. Now some people trying to say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only giving Manjari Bhav. No? Like Anantadas Babaji and this Radhakund. But even many people trying to say Gurudev also said like. Because we've seen Mahaprabhu's lila, many associates in many rasas. No? So Kalpavriksh, what you want, take. No, I don't want you want, but I'll give you what I want to give you. It's not like that. No? So Kalpavriksh. So he had many disciples, especially Nityananda himself, Advaita Charya. So at the end of his life, end of his pastimes, he was chanting one verse again and again. Only 3 people could understand that verse. Spoken by Radhika herself. Madhavendra Puri, Sarup Damodar, and Mahaprabhu himself. Only these three people could understand that verse. So they're in separation when Krishna left. I Mathura Duridanath He Mathuranath Kadavaloka Yase Tamaloka Kataram Daita Brahmati Kim Karomya. Oh my beloved, Radha in the mood of Radhika. Oh my beloved, now you are Mathuranath. You have gone far away. Not seeing you, my heart is breaking to pieces. Daitya, oh my most beloved, Kim Karomyaham, who I speak to. Madhavendra Puri in deep separation. He was speaking this verse again and again. So one disciple was Ishwar Puripad. He was very intimate with his guru. Why? Even when Madhavendra Puri would pass stool and urine, he would clean. But he would never think, my guru is material. And most importantly, when Madhavendra Puri was there, he would speak pastimes of Krishna to help. Not that guru needs help, but anyway, help him remember all these things. So Madhavendra Puri blessed Ishwar Puri. That blessing was so powerful. He could become the guru of Lord Chaitanya. Imagine the power of the blessing of Madhavendra Puri. But there was another disciple. Who was he? Ramchandra. What was his name? Ramchandra Puri. Actually, he's Jatila in Krishna Lila. Jatila have too much love for Radharani. Too much affection. Don't think Jatila and Kutila are against Radharani. They too much love Radharani. Because of that love, they're always abusing Krishna. Why? He's trying to give my Radharani such a bad reputation. He said, not Radharani's fault, this is Krishna's fault. So, out of affection for Radharani, they're always speaking bad about Krishna. Sometimes Madhu Mangalana asks, oh brother Krishna, how you live in Braj? Everyone's speaking bad about you, abusing this and that. Then Krishna said, what can I say? No, but even Jatila and Kutila, when they speak bad about me, my heart dances in happiness. Anyway, there's so much helping in Krishna's Lila. Without Jatila and Kutila, no Braj Lila. Therefore, in the first verse of Bhagavatam, Jatila and Kutila are also mentioned there indirectly. Nirasta Kuhakam. I mean, they're making... Anyway, Guru Maharaj would describe. Also mentioned there in the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. No? So, Ramchandra Puri, his incarnation of Jatila, I mean, always finding fault, especially with Radha, always finding fault, especially with Krishna. Who is Mahaprabhu? Krishna. So, always finding fault. No? Especially, he would invite you for lunch. Like Jagadana Pandit, he'd invite for lunch. And he would feed so much. Again, take, again, more, come on, more. And then what to do, because so senior, he is the disciple of Madhavendra Puri, then Jagadananda would eat. And then what would he say? Fatso, eating so. Why eating so much? Why the devotees of Lord Chaitanya overeating? Come on, man, you were the one who was feeding. So he would do like this. Overfeed you, then criticize you. So one day he came in Lord Chaitanya's room. He saw some ants moving. Oh, this sannyasi is secretly eating sweets. Therefore, ants are... Come on, you can go in the middle of the forest of the Amazon and you'll find ants there. No? You go in the middle of the desert of Sahara, there's no one for millions of miles, you will find ants there. But this sannyasi is secretly eating sweets. Now everything is revealed. So Lord Chaitanya, of course, but to set example, he cut his eating by half. When Mahaprabhu cut his eating by half, everyone else, how we can eat 50 pakoras if Mahaprabhu not eating? I mean, we could, but high class person cannot. In this way, all devotees became thin, and because not eating. Then again, Ramchandra Puri would say, oh, Bhagavad Gita says one can attain perfection by not eating too much or too little. Why you are not following Bhagavad Gita? In this way, he would criticize everyone. Everyone prayed, like someone afflicted by a high fever, when Ramchandra Puri will leave from here, when he will go, then we can be happy. So one disciple, one destination. Another disciple, completely different destination. Sometimes we say, Gurudev Some disciples going very high, others going to hell. Some Vaishnava Aparad. So this point is Prataparudra Maharaj so carefully followed his Guru Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And how he gave happiness to Mahaprabhu? No donation, nothing, just by his bhav, by his mood, especially by this Krishna Katha. So these 5 chapters, Rasa Panchadhyaya, these are like we have 5 life airs, 5 prans in the body. Without these 5 prans moving, we're dead. So Bhagavatam, without these 5, this Bhagavatam not have its glories. So we should, Mahaprabhu not against hearing, but should hear from proper person. Prakirtati Brajabadu Becham Che Vishnu Shodanvatad Anushunayata Tadvanayadva Bhakti Param Bhagavati Pratilubda Kama Ridrog Achanoti Achidit Dediyada. One should hear these pastimes of Radha Krishna. But from whom? Question. Any Tom, Dick or Harry? Should hear from proper person. Like Madhusudana Maharaj gives the example. Like we go to the doctor, we have malaria. Doctor gives you a box of 20 tablets. Take tablet 3 times a day for a week. Your disease will be cured. But the foolish person thinks, why should I take 1 a day, 3 a day for a week? Why should I wake wine? I'll drink everything now. So he takes all 20 pills at once. What happens? Dead. Therefore, proper doctors should be there, qualified sadhu, who knows how much we can digest. Like many people accuse, Srila Gurudev Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj speaking high lila. But anyone who heard him speak could never say that, because very carefully, in such a way there would be no chance for misunderstanding, he would present these topics. No? He would say we should not think these topics are only the property of the sahajas. The sahajas, like at Radhakund, I think, Radharani has asked. These topics are only for us. So Guru Maharaj said, we should not think like that. These topics are only for them. These topics are the real wealth of the Gaudiya Sampradaya. But still, if we take it in an improper way, from an improper source, instead of disease going, disease may increase. That same medicine may be the cause of your own destruction. So these verses, Mahaprabhu is so much dear to Mahaprabhu, especially so much dear to Krishna. You know? When Krishna, after Ras Leela, Radharani became dissatisfied with Krishna. Actually, I was reading Gita Govinda, then I asked Madhusudana Maharaj a question. He said, if you have to ask a question, you're not fit for this book. You know? But still I was saying, Radharani had desire to see how Krishna would look dancing with everyone. So to fulfill the desire of Radharani, Krishna did that. He danced with millions of gopis. Then Radharani came in man. So what is Krishna's fault? Then Maharaj said, are you trying to be Krishna's lawyer? I never forget that. Who do you think you are? Krishna's lawyer? You're presenting his case here? So whatever may be the case, Krishna went away. Radhika left. And without the presence of Radhika, billions and billions of gopis could not attract Krishna. Then in the conversation with Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Roy, then this was used as proof. No, Radhika is the topmost. Despite the presence of billions and billions of gopis. Without Radhika, Krishna felt not one drop of happiness there. Okay, so Krishna, don't sleep. Samadhi is for later. So in an angry mood, she left. And where did she go? Mansarovar, just across from Vrindavan. Very beautiful place. And when she went there, then why I came here? Why I left Krishna? I did wrong. Why I left? Then she began weeping, but too late because already gone. So have you been to Mansarovar? Beautiful place. We just went there 1-2 weeks ago. Beautiful place. That is made of the tears of Radharani. Then Krishna also felt very upset, very restless. Even though Krishna is Ananda, Krishna is Ras, still Ananda chases Ananda. Ras searching, where is Ras? And happiness personified, thinking, where is happiness? Because something is, right? Krishna have Ananda, Krishna is Ananda Swarup. But still in the devotee there is something special which is not in Krishna. Maharaj give the example like paneer. Paneer is nice, have a taste. But when you mash it and put some rose water and it becomes like a rasgulla, that has something special which is not in the original. So Krishna has Ananda, Krishna has Ras, but in the devotee there's always something which is not in him. What is that? Even Krishna don't know that thing. To understand that thing, he came as Lord Chaitanya. What is that thing which is not in me? What is that special thing in, especially Radhika? So even though Krishna is happiness, Krishna is Ras, he's searching. Where is Radhika? Without her I can feel no happiness at all. So searching. No. Again there was meeting. Then all other gopis were also searching for Krishna. So they became like mad. They began asking the trees, mango trees, other tall trees, have you seen where the son of Nanda has gone? No. Then many deer were there running. Oh, deer, have you seen where? They began asking trees, deer, animals, plants, like in madness. Where has Krishna gone? No. Then meanwhile Krishna was with Radhika, it's the Sringharvat. Achyuta Govinda, you have to come. One time before you kick the bucket. Have darshan of all these places. Nityananda also did bhajan there, this same place, because he is Guru Tattva. He's showing the prayojan, the goal. No? So Nityananda also spent a long time in Sringharvat also. His deity is there, Gaunitai deity is there. No? So, all other gopis came from behind searching. They followed the footprints of Radha Krishna. Those gopis who had served Radharani, they knew her footprints. They knew nicely. But other gopis didn't know, who never served. So, Anadita Nunam Bhagavan Hariyasura Yanno Vihita Govinda Pritayo Anayadaha. There the name of Radharani is given in a hidden way in the Bhagavatam. Who is this gopi? She must have so much blessings from Hari, from Ishvara, from Bhagavan. Why? She has so much security. Krishna given up all of us and had alone taken her. So the name of Radharani is given. Anaradita Nuna. So when Radha and Krishna were there together, then they heard the voices of the other gopis coming. Then Krishna thought, if all these gopis see me alone with Radhika, they will become in man, they will become angry, and they will run away here and there. Rasalila will be destroyed forever. So I will hide myself, because if they see me here, they will blame me. They will criticize Radhika also. So I will hide myself. And Radharani will come in separation. And when they see Radharani's separation, those other gopis will realize our attachment for Krishna is not equal to one drop of her attachment. They will see for themselves. So Krishna disappeared. And then Radhika began lamenting. When the other gopis came, they began, look at your situation. That Krishna is very bad. They began criticizing Krishna. Then Radhika said, this is not fault of Krishna. I became too proud. I said to Krishna, I cannot walk, carry me on your back. This is my fault. Krishna has no fault. No. So that Krishna would accept blame of being very selfish. He disappeared for the happiness of Radhika. But Radhika also, no, this is not Krishna's fault, this is my fault. So both Radha and Krishna want to take the blame to glorify each other. The gopis thought, we cannot chase Krishna. His feet are very soft. If he goes in the forest, he will feel no pain. We heard the only way to attract him is by Kirtana. We heard. So all gopis sat there on the bank of the Yamuna. That Yogamaya had decorated everything, so it was like a silver blanket. Very sweet atmosphere. So all gopis sat down and they began singing this same Gopi Gita. I think 19 verses are there. No? So Vaishnavas would explain, Krishna also want to hear these things. Because Gurudev would say, the nature of prema never reveal itself. Like here we say 50 times a day, I love you, and next minute, divorce. So if you burn some incense in a room and you close the windows and doors, that smell becomes very strong. But as soon as you open the window, it all lost. So as soon as you say, I love you, gone. Prema is gone. So the gopis never say directly in front of Krishna, I love you, how much they love you. The gopis always act in such a way as if we don't love Krishna. No, this is their crookedness. So Krishna one time want to hear what they feel. So they will only speak that when they think Krishna is not there. So that Krishna could hear what was in the heart of the gopis, Krishna also disguised himself. Taking his chada, he also pretended to be like a gopi. And when Gopi is singing all these verses of Gopi Gita, Krishna hearing everything very nicely under his blanket. Very happily hearing everything. So finally when they finished, that separation had reached so high stage, then Krishna felt shame. Tesham avaruch sori smayamanam mukhadgiti pittambara drava shakshad manmataman matatano. This is the form of Gopinath, total Gopinath. When Krishna again revealed himself, then he wear his cloth around his neck like a sannyasi, like a beggar. Oh gopis, your mood is very high. I have nothing to purchase your mood with. So please just be kind and give me donation of your man, your angry mood. I have nothing to purchase it. But out of your kindness, just donate to them. That time, how many expressions on the face of Krishna? Inside so happy because he heard everything. So he feels very happy with himself also. Also he feels shame. Gopis love me so much and I am so cruel and nonsense. So he feels shame. He feels happiness. Feel hesitation. He feels I have done wrong. I have missed. Many moods are there on his face. So at that time, how attractive Krishna looked at that time. Controlled by the affection of the gopis. So that deity is called Gopinath. That time, being controlled by the love of the gopis, Krishna exhibited a brilliance, a beauty millions of times more than Cupid. So Krishna loses to his devotees, defeated by his devotee, he not become less, he always becomes more. Otherwise why everyone worships Krishna? Why? Because only Krishna is so much controlled by the affection of the Brijavasis. No one else. Not Ram, not Nrsingadev, no one like Krishna. Krishna is really the deity of prema, the deity of prema. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in Chaitanya Shikshamrita, everywhere else may have some fear. Damodar Maharaj is a bit strange, oh my God. Jai Nitai. Everywhere is some fear, some hesitation, but Krishna, because his body made of only prem, he's the only place where we can have complete confidence, complete fearlessness is only at his lotus feet. Anyone else or anything else in this world is temporary or will misuse us, cheat us, but Krishna never. He is the perfect Visaya of Prema, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. Everyone else has some defect, some lacking. Even other incarnations, not the perfect object of Prema. But only Krishna is the perfect Visaya, the perfect object of Prema. He's the only place where there is complete fearlessness. So, that time Gopi is very happy. Krishna came. Sit, they said. Welcome. So they gave him many. Their cloth they made into a big seat, like asana. Then Krishna is sitting on that asana. How happy he feels. Finally, the Gopi is giving me some respect, he thought, like Guru. Because mostly Guru's disciples, like Gopis, always defeating Krishna. But first time, some big nice asana, scented by the fragrance of the Gopis' hands and makeup. Krishna feel very happy there. Then Gopis asked some questions. Guru Maharaj would beautifully describe all these things. Which type of person are you? Which type of beloved are you? In this world, different types of beloved. The gopis asked. Some are businessmen. I love you, you love me. No? Krishna said, I am not like that. And gopis, you are not like that. Then gopis said, then what type? And then Krishna gave, I am not a businessman. Then maybe you are Atmaram. You love them or not, still they have affection for you. Like parents. Sometimes children misbehave, children are nonsense, but still parents always wish well for that person. You not love them, but still they love you. Like parents. Are you like that? Krishna not answer too much. Are you Atmaram? Whether you love them or not, they don't care. Makes no difference for them. Krishna says, definitely I'm not Atmaram, otherwise why I called my flute, why I called you? So if you're not like a businessman, no, if you're not like mother and father, if you're not Atmaram, then you only have two more options. Either you're ungrateful, someone gives you so much love and affection, but for some reason after you not accept. No, that person is ungrateful. And worse than that is Guru Drohi. That is even worse than being ungrateful. Someone does so much for you, but you not even accept what they give you, but you become against them, like Guru Drohi. So gopis ask many, which type are you? This. Guru Maharaj described 9. Gopis give Krishna 9 options. Then Krishna's head spinning. I am none of these. Then why describe your behavior? Why you left us? Then Krishna said, I did this to expand your prema for me. Just like a wealthy man loses his wealth, how much he becomes in anxiety, how much he meditates on that. Like we lose our phone or our wallet or something, or just before a flight you lose your passport, you become mad. Where is it? So I disappeared from you. Why? Just to increase your love for me. But gopis heard this, they're not too much satisfied by his answer. So finally Krishna admitted, Na pare ham samridam swasadukriti vibud ayusipima mambajan durgara geha srinkala sampristatyat pratiyatusa. Gopis, I have no words. I cannot repay you. Even if I had a lifetime, because Krishna is Naravat lila, human lila. Even if I had a past life as long as Lord Brahma, I could not repay you properly. No, so please just be satisfied by your own sadhutva, your own glories, your own proper and wonderful behavior, but I cannot repay you. So Guru Maharaj said, when Krishna answered like that, at first the gopis think we defeat Krishna. No. But when Krishna answered like that, so humble, so bhakta vatsalya, so affectionate to them, how much respect he gave the gopis. I cannot repay you. I have nothing in my power. Then Guru Maharaj says, by that Krishna control and capture the gopis by his words. No? So gopis thought, what is this? We come to capture Krishna, but by this answer we are fully captured by him. So this all things, Prataparudra explain, and all these things come in the heart of Mahaprabhu. No, of course, and probably millions of things we cannot even imagine. For that reason Mahaprabhu said, you gave me jewel of remembrance of Krishna. I cannot repay that. So Prataparudra became great associate. And afterwards he did many seva. Mahaprabhu accepted him after that. Many seva. When Mahaprabhu went, I want to go and see my 2 mothers. There's descriptions in Chaitanya Charita. Prataparudra make new boats, new houses. Everywhere on the way where Mahaprabhu would stay, he built a new house. Like this. All the queens would be on elephants and looking at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from a distance. Mahaprabhu wanted to cross the river and go to Bengal, but that side is millions of Muslims. So the leader of the Muslims came to visit Mahaprabhu. When he saw Mahaprabhu, he completely changed. He fell at the feet of Lord Chaitanya. So Mahaprabhu did so many lila. So you see in Mahaprabhu's lila, those persons who would never get a chance in Krishna lila. Even the king, Prataparudra, no chance, but Mahaprabhu gave so much chance, so much facility. Actually, Madhusudana Maharaj said, in Krishna Lila there was one Yavan, one meat eater. He came from Turkey. What was his name? He came to kill Muchukunda. Muchukunda finished him. Kal Yavan. His name was Kal. Yavan means meat eater. His father had been disgraced by the Yadus, so he took a vow to please Lord Shiva. He ate powdered iron for 12 years. And we think doing Ekadasi is tough. powdered iron for 12 years. And when Shiva came before him, what do you want? I want a son who gives fear to the Yadus. So Kalyavan was born. So he wanted to fight. So he met Narad. I'm so strong but no one proper to fight with. Then Narad said, if you go to India, there's a guy called Basudev. He's very handsome, dark complexion, 4 hands, wears a garland of forest flowers. He will satisfy you. So Kalyavan came with his army of 60 million kebab eaters. 60 million kebabis invaded India. They came to Mathura. Then Krishna came out. Normally Krishna have 2 hands, but to fulfill the words of Narad, he came out with 4. And he ran. So when Kalyavan saw Krishna had no weapons, he also came with no weapons to fight, hand to hand. But when Krishna ran away, he began chasing him. Come back, you coward, fight like a man. But Krishna ran. So Maharaj explains why Krishna ran. Many reasons, but one reason, this is a Yavan, a meat eater. If the other, if anyone in Mathura or Dwarka sees Krishna embracing a meat eater, or fighting with a meat eater, even being touched by a meat eater, the Yadus would put Krishna out of Dwarka. Now he's untouchable. Lost his caste, finished. So Krishna, out of fear of being touched by a meat eater, he ran. But Mahaprabhu, so much more kind. So much more. Same Krishna, but Audarjamoy, so much merciful, so much kind. So we're too much lucky to be born in somehow connection with this line. So we should try to hear Mahaprabhu's lila. It said, by remembering Gauranga, even impossible things become easy. And by forgetting Gauranga, even easy things become impossible. So we remember him under his shelter. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Pray. Oh Sachinandan, please reveal yourself to me in the form of Radha Krishna. One time I asked Srila Gogmaji, should we remember Lord Chaitanya? And he closed his eyes and said, we should pray to Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya, please reveal yourself to me in the form of Radha Krishna. Take care. Are there any questions by anyone? Hare Krishna.
I just had a question for you about Jagannath Temple. I've heard it's the temple itself it was erected during Satyuga. Is that true? Or
Well, it's probably come and gone a few times.
The foundation's probably location.
But that's millions of years.
It's probably built around the same time as the Sun Temple, the Konark Temple as well. Because that architecture style is all
Same. But worship of Jagannath is from Satyuga. No, but that temple probably come and go a few times. No? Because how long a temple stands for.
How do we know that Kalyavan was from Turkey?
Oh, it says in the commentaries. I don't know. But 11 of 11 untouchable tribes, Turkey's mentioned there in Bhagavatam. Germany's mentioned, Turkey's mentioned, Greece is mentioned, Australia is mentioned, so we're all right.
But Australia's only been called Australia for about 200 years.
Details.
Before that it wasn't. It was incognito.
But these untouchable tribes are mentioned, but the Germans are mentioned, the Greeks are mentioned, and the Turks are mentioned.
They're from after Parashuram's time, is that correct? I think if I remember correctly, the suggestion was from Prabhupada that Parashuram, kicked away a lot of people from India and they settled in Europe. Prabhupada said that many of us European people are descendants of these warriors and people who were Sakshias.
But direct mention is there of Yayatis, had 4 sons. The Puru was the youngest, then Yadu was the oldest, and in the middle it was 2. So Yati had been cursed by, this is mentioned in Bhagavatam directly, Yati had been cursed by Sukracharya. Remember he had two wives were fighting and he cursed him with old age. Then the Yati went to Sukacharya, this is not curse on me, it's curse on your daughter, because she's also very lusty. She not fulfill her desires. So Sukacharya said, you can exchange your youth with anyone, your old age for someone's youth. So he said to Yadu, give me your youth, take my old age. But Yadu, because this body is meant for bhajan, you're just going to use it for enjoyment, I won't give you. Then Puru agreed. So he became king. And Krishna cursed, Jajati cursed his son, Yadu, you will not become king. That's why Krishna appeared Yadu dynasty but never became king of Dwarka. He gave to Ugrasen. But there was one son, of these two sons in the middle, one formed the race of Yavanas. I forget his name. You can check there in 10th canto. Like this. Anyway, they were expelled by his father, and he went there and made the Yavan race. Yes. No shortage of Yavans in Kali Yuga. Even India has millions of them.
We have the use, I suppose.
Huh?
We have the use. Yavan is a
Not Yavan anymore, now became devotee. Anything else? Yes, so Satyuga is going on, but that temple, maybe not from that time. But like he said, probably the foundation from that time. Yes?
What's the key ingredient or ingredients to follow Madhurya, or to enter Madhurya and not Aishwarya?
Shelter Radharani. Shelter Radharani. It said, Radhik Anugati Bina Aishwaryagan Napai Braja Brajananandan. Maharaj always talks about Radharani is like the filter. If you go directly to Krishna, you'll end up tasting his Aishwarya, then you get sent to Dwarka or Mathura. Even Lakshmi refused to come under the shelter of Radhika, that's why she got no place in Braj. So if you want to taste Krishna's Madhurya, then you have to come under the shelter of Brijbasi, especially Radharani. Because who tastes all Krishna's Madhurya? That is Radhika Rana. She tastes all that. You want to taste his Madhurya, you have to come under her guidance. You have to come under her Anugata. Like Mirabai. Mirabai lived in Braj, whole life bhajan of Vrindavan, but not accepted Radhika. Therefore when she died, some say she merged with the deity, some say she went to Dwarka and became a Maharshi, like a queen of Dwarka. That's why Radharani's position is so important. If you want to taste, if you want to be in Braj and taste Madhurya, then you have to be the shelter of Radharani. You coming to Vrindavan this year? Hope so. Say strongly, must. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Hari Bol, Hari Bol.